Lions fans, welcome back. Detroit Den 313 with Steve here. Hey, got another good one for you. Listen, something I listened to today, a Brad Holmes press conference, got me a little excited. Got me ready. We are 10 days away from kickoff. 10 days from now, if you're going to the game, you'll probably be tailgating, having some adult beverages, doing some grilling, playing some cornhole, playing some euchre, doing all kinds of Michigan things, slapping some Werner, some Fago. What Brad Holmes said today in his press conference got me excited. And I have talked about this before, but I want to hit it again because we're so close to the football season. Excitement's high. We're all counting down. We're all ready for kickoff. Someone asked in the press conference today for the Detroit Lions, it was Brad Holmes and Ray Agnew. If you don't know who Ray Agnew is, he's the assistant general manager, does a phenomenal job, very under the behind the radar or behind the scenes under the radar type guy. I'm going to do a little digging on Ray. I want to look up some stuff. I've had him on my mind and on my notes for quite a while. But Brad Holmes said he got asked a question today. What are the expectations for the Detroit Lions? Without missing a beat, win the Super Bowl, period. End of discussion. What are we talking about? That is the goal. That's why they play the game. They don't play for participation trophies. All right. If you're like me, if Brad Holmes is like me, and I'm sure he is, I've seen his competitive nature. I've seen him high-fiving fans after the Kansas City game, cheering in the elevators after we clinched the playoffs. He's a competitive dude. We don't play this game for fun, all right? That NFC Championship game left a bad taste in my mouth, probably a lot of your guys' mouth, probably Brad Holmes' mouth, and all the players and coaching staff as well. So we're ready to get back after it. This has been a long, painful offseason. So when Brad Holmes answered that question, and he followed it up, and he said, I'm paraphrasing his quote a little bit. I don't remember the exact words, but I'll be pretty close. He said that I've lived in other cities with football teams, and no disrespect to them, it's different here. It is, and I'm going to share a little bit of my background for you guys. For those of you who are new to this channel, I am an Army veteran. I've traveled across this great country of ours and overseas twice. And I've seen fans, I've experienced, living with other guys and kind of that camaraderie and that bond and having other football fans around. Living in Texas for almost 5 years, they're serious about their Dallas Cowboys and they're serious about their Texas Longhorns. I've been around it. I've lived in Oklahoma, Ohio, Texas, California. I've lived in some places where I've seen things. People gravitate to the Detroit Lions differently from anything I've seen. I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I'm not saying that because I'm a Detroit Lions fan. Watching that playoff run last year and seeing the city of Detroit an absolute zoo in a good way, like no negatives, even at the draft, the city of Detroit shows up for the Detroit Lions, shows up for football. I know we're hockey town. I know we love our Red Wings, our Tigers, Pistons. You got to start doing a little something for us. Michigan football, Michigan State football, Central Michigan. We are a football state, like it or not. It's what we are. When the Red Wings are doing great, it's fine. We all cheer for them. But when the Lions do great, workplaces shut down on Sundays. Okay. People get Mondays off so they can go celebrate Lions wins. It is different here. I 100% agree with Brad Holmes. And leave it in the comments. If you've lived in another football town, do you agree or disagree with that statement and kind of share your experience? I like to hear other people's stories. So what are the season expectations going forward? And I've thrown out this question before. If you've been watching my channel long enough, you know how I feel about the title or the label Super Bowl or bust. I feel like that is from my standpoint as a fan, as a content creator, whatever you want to label me as, it's different than it is for players. I have to be able to separate. I'm not an NFL player. I've never put on a helmet. Not a full NFL helmet. I've never received a paycheck from the NFL ever. So it's a little different from players than it is for us. So what is a successful season in our eyes? To me, it's hard because I want that Super Bowl so bad. So I'm trying to find the way to word this. For me, and I think most of you will try to agree or maybe agree, a successful season is, I don't like to say I had fun at football games. Did we at least dominate most teams that we're supposed to this year? I guess that's the only way I know how to put it. Did we win? Did we get better than last year? And that's tough because last year we were in the NFC Championship game. So how do we get better? Is it getting to the Super Bowl? I don't want to just get there. I want to win it. I've had several conversations with my wife. Hey, don't make any plans in February. I'm busy. If someone's getting married, whatever's going on, you might be able to go. I will not. I will be in New Orleans. So it is very, very hard for me to differentiate between the players' mindset and our mindset, because there is a huge gap, whether we like it or not. Like, these players are far more invested. Their families are far more invested than you and I. And I'm pretty invested. Trust me. I follow the Lions religiously, do content every day for you guys. I try. Like, the Lions are on my mind 24/7. Okay. I know it's different for them. They're putting their bodies through it, their minds through it, their families through it. It's different. One thing I've always respected is I have a friend who's a Yankees fan, and he said something to me a long time ago. He said, the expectations of the New York Yankees is to win the World Series every year, regardless of what happens, regardless of what factors influence the season. And I kind of respect that, because I think it is true. That's how I want the Detroit Lions to operate. I want my expectations every season to be winning the Super Bowl. That is the goal. That is why we play. I don't play for second place. I've never been raised to play for second place. I will never teach to play for second place. You play to win. And if you win humbly. That's how I was always taught. It's different for players. I know it's much more heartbreaking for them. So it's really hard for me to work that fine line, guys. I'm really trying to find that common ground on Super Bowl or bust, because I hate that title. I really, really, really do hate it. But it's a question that's going around. So leave it in the comments as well. What is your stance on Super Bowl or bust? And I will keep it. Obviously, I'm kind of working with a fine line here. So I'm not going to hammer anyone who says anything different, because I know I'm kind of tiptoeing around the bush here a little bit, and I'm trying to do that carefully for a reason. But that is my expectations. I want the Super Bowl. I don't want to just go. I want to get there. I want to win it. I want to be partying with the One Pride family on Bourbon Street in the French Quarter in New Orleans in February. That's my goal. That's my expectations. That's what I'm preparing to do financially, work-wise. When I have to take vacation for next year, February. That's when we're taking it. We're going to New Orleans. That's how I feel about it. That's where I am mentally. Let me know where you guys are at as well. So what's the biggest question going forward? I think we have to look at the schedule. So let me just pull it up real quick. And the only thing I don't love about our schedule is, you guys all know about the week 5 bye. But to start the season and how we end the season is kind of the most crucial points. When we look at starting the season, you know who we got. Stafford coming to town, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Seattle, boom, bye week. So let's just look at that 4-game stretch, man. If we can get to that 4-game stretch, I really, truly believe we have the capabilities of being 4-0. But even if we slip up one game and we go 3-1, I know Seattle's had our number the last couple of years. As much as I don't think the past has anything to do with what's currently going on, I know they're going under a coaching change as well. Seattle's just had our number, but I do think we are the better football team. I truly believe we can get there 4-0 going into the bye week. Coming out of the bye, hey, tough game against Dallas. Say what you want about them. I hate them just as much as everyone else. That bye week, an extra week to prepare for them, that's a nice thing to have. Winnable game. Minnesota, rebuild. Tennessee, I don't know. Green Bay's tough. Houston's tough. Jacksonville's tough. Indy's tough. I mean, Indy's going to be good this year. But looking at the close of the season, what do we have? We have 4 out of 6 games at home. 4 out of 6 games. And if my math is correct, I think we only played 2 or 3 outdoor games. I'm not sure, guys. It's a tough schedule. There's a lot of tough opponents on there. The Lions have depth. It will be tested. We are just this last week, if we look at just our practice squad's loaded. Those guys were starting on NFL rosters a couple years ago. Now they're on our practice squad as contingency plans. We have a very, very solid, deep roster. I really like where our team's at. I like how we've been built through Brad Holmes, who I've talked about the last 2 days. It's getting to be time. It's football time. The time for talking is over. It's football season. We have 10 days. I got a lot of good content I'm preparing for you guys. Please stick around, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. I'll be back later with another show, guys. Have a good night.